this special webinar to commemorate the 1 year anniversary of Yaba Voice. We are really, really excited at how far we had come. We know that, yes, by our own power and might, we won't have been able to achieve any of those milestones that we are celebrating today. Oh, for some people, it might not look like a big deal. It's a big deal. And so once again, I want to welcome you to the webinar celebrating the 1 year anniversary of Yaba Voice. Good day, good afternoon, good morning. Where Nigeria, outside of this country, it's a beautiful day out there, and we are happy. You can see the excitement all over. It's just that we didn't pop champagne or there are no balloons, but then it's really, really an exciting day for us here for this milestone that we are celebrating. To formally welcome us to this webinar is the acting medical director and the arrowhead of Yaba Voice, Dr. Olubenga Adekile Owoye. Over to you, sir. Dr. Owoye, please unmute, sir. Unmute so that we can hear you, sir. Dr. Owoye. Dr. Owoye, sir.
Okay.
All right, sir.
Unmute myself. Okay, thank you very much. Am I on now? Hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you, sir. We can hear you. Continue, sir.
Very good. Good morning, everyone, all over the world. I want to welcome you to this special edition of webinar by Yaba Voice to commemorate our 1 year anniversary. We have a good story to tell of our activities for the past 12 months as this story evolves. As we all know, Yaba Voice is for mental health education, advocacy, and community outreach. It is a platform of Federal Neuropsychiatric Hospital Yaba Lagos, through which the hospital creates awareness and educates the populace on mental health issues. I am Oluwagbemiga Owoye, the acting medical director of Federal Neuropsychiatric Hospital Yaba Lagos. And with me on the platform today are the brains behind Yaba Voice. First on the list is Dr. Oluwayemi Cecilia Ogun, the Amazon of Psychiatry in Nigeria. She is the founder of Yaba Voice and a strong member of our team to date. Also, we have Dr. Eso Oluwaniyi, our acting head of clinical services, also a strong member of the team. Dr. Tayo Ajiroti, to be head of psychology department of Federal Neuropsychiatric Hospital Yaba Lagos, is also a formidable member of the team. Mrs. Oluwakemi Akitoyese, a clinical psychology par excellence, is also a member of the team, as well as Mrs. Oshi, Miss Titobi Ladako, Mr. Donald Olawale. These are all strong members of the team. And also we have our secretary, Mr. Kayode Ladeji, and he's also the one in charge of IT management. Today, we are telling our story as it evolves. And to lead us and to anchor this program, I want to hand you over to Mrs. Oluwakemi Akitoyese.
All right, thank you so much, sir. The medical director had welcomed us to this 1 year anniversary celebration of the Yaba Voice. The medical director had introduced virtually everyone who had been part of the team since its inception last year, July. To speak more, because the team today is a story as it evolves. To speak more on this story is someone the acting medical director just called the Amazon. I was just trying to look for another word to describe Amazon. For me, I call her Mama. Even sometimes I do not just call her Mama like that. I call her Mama. You know, when you say Mama, it's different from Mama. Mama is like an English word, but Mama is somebody that, you know, they can pay, she stand gidigba. And she's not ashamed or afraid to do and to tell you, I don't know it, I want to know more. And she had pushed and pushed. I remember the second webinar when we did not meet for rehearsal. Hey, oh God. Oh God of Elejumari. Mama said, we cannot move on like this. No, and so we knew it. Our head was rescued that day, that we know that there must be rehearsal before webinar, and then we have to just keep this going. And she had been the brain behind all of this. And so to tell us how it evolved is the Amazon herself, this wonderful, brilliant woman that I am standing on her shoulders because I obviously want to be like her when I grow up. I'm still growing too. All right. So to tell the story is Dr. Oluwayemi Cecilia Ogo. Over to you, ma'am.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you are listening to us on our Yaba webinar. Thank you, Mr. Oluwakemi Akintoyeshe. And I do not take this opportunity for granted. I thank you, the Acting Medical Director, Dr. Olugbenga Oweye, and every member of the team. Thank you so much for having me. Well, our story started. We, like Oluwakemi just said, we like to ride on the shoulders of our mentors, of our forebears. And so is the story of Yaba Voice. We rode on this on the shoulders of those founding fathers and mothers of Yaba. They started what we used to call the outreach program, which was actually started by Dr. Bertha Johnson, the late Bertha Johnson, a former medical director of Federal Neuropsychiatric Hospital, Yaba. She started outreach program in trying to reach the unreached in the society. Sorry was told of how she used to go to schools and even found that schools against drug abuse clubs in some parts of Ajegunle. So, and when we came to Yaba, this outreach program was growing. We started going to Yaba parks, bus stops, even as far as socially, bus stops, marketplaces, schools, churches, and mosques to preach mental health. And so I now said, to become the medical director, I said I was going to expand it. But then it did not grow beyond what we met on ground. Then the pandemic came. And then we started seeing Zoom, all sorts of webinar coming. And then we thought, why don't we even do this? Since there was this social distancing, we could not go to churches. Well, there was lockdown anyway. So, and that was how, if you could remember, the lockdown was still around June. So we now said, and we couldn't do what we used to do, what Yaba was known for. So we now said, okay, let us experiment with Zoom. And so born the so-called Yaba Voice. And with me then, we had to call on the people in the team. We tried to get the name. What can we call Yaba? What can we call this? Why we needed to give it a name. And so one of us suggested Yaba Voice. And so that is how Yaba Voice was born. And I thank you for those who have been on this, there have been some people that they did not miss a single episode of Yaba Voice. I thank you all greatly. And I believe we are making impact, even though it's small. And I believe by the grace of God, it's going to get bigger. So thank you for having me on.
Thank you so much, Mama. You know, one beautiful thing about her is she can be spontaneous. She will tell you I didn't prepare, but when she delivers, oh God, you'll begin like, where is the book? Where did she get all of this from? Thank you so much, Ma, for giving us this space. And thank you so much for allowing us to do what we know how to do best. And thank you so much for bringing Yaba to the spotlight in terms of disseminating information to a lot of people out there. And we know that, at least from what we would hear today, that a lot is being done. Yes, we might not be able to quantify statistically, but we know that, yes, quite a lot of development and improvement had come our way. All right, so to tell us and to give us a real back into the past of what we have done so far in the last 1 year is Miss Jumoke Oshin Ayola. She's going to give us a real into the past of what and how Yaba Voice had fared in the last 1 year. Over to you, Miss Oshin.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's a privilege to present it, and thank you so much for the privilege. So, overview of 1 year. So, overview of 1 year. So far, Yaba's Voice started with Zoom meetings, with 15 webinars on Zoom meetings, and it had 39 resourceful speakers coming to speak on board. Yaba Voice is present on social media platforms as the YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and on WhatsApp. On Instagram, Yaba Voice has 329 followers, 238 posts, and it's following 1,195 people. On Facebook, Yaba Voice has 5,669 friends and about 300 posts. On YouTube, Yaba Voice has been able to put 200 posts. And so the first webinar so far in Yaba Voice started with the topic, mental health and stress management, navigating the new normal and emerging stronger. That day, we had 112 participants and 28 people had viewed the topic on YouTube. The highlight of the topic was that there are two speakers, and they emphasized that human being can be stressed. They define extensively what mental health is all about, and that development of coping strategies is essential for human being to function. Balancing of life roles and day-to-day life expectation makes healthy lifestyle. The second webinar was about substance abuse and the pandemic, intricacies and solutions. On YouTube, we had 30 views. On Zoom that day, it had 123 participants. The highlight of the topic was substance use disorder is a chronic relapsing brain disease. The two presenters emphasized that individuals can move from occasional use to addiction, and that substance is everywhere. It can be managed, and most importantly, it's important to seek help when addiction occurs. The next webinar Yaba Voice had was on suicide, that is it a myth or a reality? On YouTube, 2 people had viewed that, and the same day, 135 people were participants on Zoom. And the message was about that suicide is real. The myth about suicide is that people who attempt suicide are attention seekers. That's the myth of it. And that the rate of suicide is increasingly high in the society. It is therefore pertinent to pay attention and take seriously every suicidal statement made by seemingly okay people, and that we should be our brother's keeper. The next webinar was on sleep and sleep disorders, that can sleep be too much or too little. On YouTube, 7 people had viewed the topic. On the same day, 175 people were participants. The message was that adults should have 8 hours of sleep, and that people do not fully understand the concept of sleep. So very, very important, as people don't take this to note, according to the participants, according to the presenters, was that the bed should be reserved for sleep and sex, and that we should not use the bedroom as an office or workroom or recreational room, as people now tend to work from home because of the pandemic. So rape, its implications and intervention. On YouTube, 9 people had viewed that. On Zoom, 105 were the participants, and that rape is less talked about. Victims usually don't speak about it unless help is sought. It is therefore important to educate our children to prevent abuse or rape. Partners should be more sensitive to others' feelings to prevent abuse and perceived rape. As the speakers talked about, that it is that partners often abuse themselves, even in marriage. Mental health for all, greater investment, greater access, the role of different professionals. This was used to celebrate the World Mental Health Day. On YouTube, 78 people viewed the topic. Zoom participants were 115 people. So the speakers, about 5 speakers that day, emphasized the government roles in investing in mental health. Then they also talked about the practitioner roles and that there's need for more awareness in mental health. People should not stigmatize even themselves. They made us to know that there's what we call self-stigmatization. You and your mental health, Yaba Voice tried to look at that to be able to help the society, help their mental well-being. On Zoom, 97 people were participants. YouTube, we had 185 viewers. The highlight of the topic was that people are familiar with health is wealth, is a norm, is a general say. But what about our mental health? People often mistake mental health features or symptoms with physical health issues as presented in our hospital environment. It is therefore important to seek mental health care even when all other physical features has been taken care of and the symptoms are not getting away. People should seek mental health care. Yaba Voice then take care of our grandmas and our grandpas by looking at mental health in old age. What are the challenges and the intervention? And 96 people were present that day in the meeting. 30 people had viewed the topic. On Facebook, 30 people have already seen it. And the message was that everybody will get old. Old age is inevitable. People in olden days mistaking mental health condition in elderly to spirituality. No wonder they call them different names in those days, like witches and all the rest. We now know better that symptoms of old age can be treated, especially if it affects their functioning. Yaba Voice then take care of healthcare workers by talking about the second wave of COVID-19, the frontline workers' experiences and psychological tips. On YouTube, 110 people had viewed it. On Zoom, 115 people participated. And the message was that whether we like it or not, COVID-19 is real. It is important to say that the new wave is out. We're using this medium to let the world know that the new wave is out and that health workers should protect themselves. Individuals should observe all protective measures so that we don't contact this thing called COVID-19. Emotional problems in children, identifications and intervention. On Zoom, 98 people were present, 265 people, 49 people were on Instagram. The message was that children also have emotional issues. Parents and caregivers are too busy these days. As often said, children are the future of tomorrow, and more attention should be given for better tomorrow. Yaba Voice took care of women also by looking at the topic called Women and Their Mental Health, or Women's Mental Health. On YouTube, we have 119 people that had viewed the topic. On Zoom, participants were 95. Women are faced with several mental health conditions as men, and often they are too busy taking care of home and even work to even cater for themselves. So therefore, women were encouraged by the two speakers to seek help because it has a long-standing effect on how well they are able to take care of themselves and the society at large. Educational and workplace inclusion for people with autism. There are people with special conditions as children. Autism spectrum disorder, challenges and opportunities were dealt into. And on Zoom that day, we had 86 participants. On YouTube, 38 people had viewed the topic. And the highlight was Most cases of autism in Nigeria are not even diagnosed. Parents are often overwhelmed by burden of care. Getting help as equipping these children in vocational skills and even making them go through formal education is essential to help these children living with the condition and even to be able to give hope to the parents and then help the society at large. Substance again in Yaba Voice. This time around, Yaba Voice looked at cannabis. Can there be smoke without fire? And on Zoom that day, we had 98 participants. On YouTube, we had 166 people that have viewed the topic because, of course, cannabis is everywhere. Increasing number of children and young adults with substance use disorder and use of cannabis. More referrals from universities with cases of Indian hemp used for rehabilitation. So people are not, more children and adults. The speakers emphasize that more people, more children especially, and young adults had been referred from universities for rehabilitation. So then society should be more aware of its negative impact so that we can reduce the use of cannabis in our society. There was a special edition and of the convener, and the journey, the passion, the challenges, and triumph of the convener was actually dealt with. That day we had 146 people coming on board for the meeting. And then on 34 people had viewed what we talked about. They highlight Mama, as the Atikemi we call her, shared her experiences as psychiatrist. And she talked about her background and noted that it's okay to start anyway, even if the circumstances tells otherwise. She encouraged people that day. She taught listeners to believe in themselves, as there will always be challenges, but it is important to move beyond them and achieve your goal, even despite all odds. So the most viewed, the most attended are their very men's mental health strengths and challenges was looked into. That's the topic from Yaba Voice. And that day we had the greatest number of people attending. On Zoom, 164 participants. On Facebook, 180 views. And then YouTube, we had 557 people looking at men issues. And the message from Professor Coker and the colleague that talked about this topic was men suffer more from mental health issues than women. But then they are reluctant to seek treatment for their psychological issues. So this phrase was used, that do we know that perceptions sometimes are not logical, but psychological, and then giving way to how we interpret events. We should ruminate about this. And if you want more information, you can check on our YouTube and watch the video. The next topic that we had just last week here was on mental health and insecurity, implications and interventions. On Zoom last week, we had 68 participants, and the speakers emphasized that fear of being taken away by government is disturbing. Psychological tips on how to cope was discussed. How to be security conscious was dealt with, and that was just last week. And so therefore, on this note, I want to say that Yaba Voice is still loading. So please stay tuned as you hear more from us, watch more seminars from us, and please always be our participant. Thank you for listening, everyone.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Oshin, for that trip into the past. It's a journey into the past, and there's a need to actually showcase what we have done so far. It's interesting to know that we have virtually dealt with virtually every aspect of life: rape, suicide, sleep, quite a lot of issues that are so prominent out there, disturbing a lot of people. And also important to note that we have also dealt with gender-related issues. We've dealt with men, we've dealt with female, we've dealt with children. And yes, there's still more land to conquer, and we are willing to do that. I want to appreciate everyone who had sent, yes, congratulatory messages to us on this platform. We're going to take that before we end this webinar today. Thank you so much for being on this call again with us. We appreciate your presence. You are the reason why we have continued for this 1 year. Thank you so much. We're going to move on quickly, and then the medical director, Dr. Weyer, is going to share with us mental health and psychiatry. What has it been? What is it? What's the in thing? And what should we know about it. Over to you, Dr. Uwoye, sir. So unmute yourself. Dr. Uwoye, please unmute yourself, sir. All right,
yes,
sir.
yes. Very much, Kemi. Grateful for the platform once again. Quickly about telemedicine used in psychiatry. If you look at it closely, doing in Yaba voice, show that we advance of and the use of voices in mental health services. Medicine is the use of is to communicate medical information, provide to support the services when this separate the participants. And if you look at telemedicine, Greek word distance, meteri, it's a Latin word. So the advent of to the increase of technological promotion of, and there are actually of telemedicine very useful in mental health. The store and type of telemedicine are stored from one facility or between one. Then we also have remote monitoring where patients with devices on their body who with sleep problems when they are being monitored. And then we real-time interaction, the real-time, and each of the beneficial role to play overall health, when utilized properly, tangible benefit to workers and patients' mental health. Now there are examples. Telemedical services. I will just look at some of. You now see is now fitting. First one, itself, which is the transfer images between health or diagnosis, stance, and home monitoring. Care services are the home of the carried out from center. Then consultation of knowledge or experience of across distance intervention are useful. And then tele-learning, which has to do with training of and their care by the profession at a distance. We in Yaba have been doing. And with psychiatric hospital, you have through the Yaba voice on social media, we are poised with mental health services with the use of various techniques. And I've been doing that Yaba voice of advancing services in who will continue to do this, that by the world, especially have access to while at their comfort. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The medical director had told us that, yes, even in the advent of development in the world now, so many things have been ongoing, but one of the most important outcome of the COVID and every other thing for us now in Yaba Voice is tele-learning, where people have access to quality mental health information that would help them to be able to function adequately. So it's not just a gamut of information out there that people don't even know what to do with. What they have now is quality mental health information, and that's what we are supposed to regularly disseminate even on this platform. Just stay tuned with us. You would get the best. There is no other place to go rather than just the Yaba Voice. So anybody that asks you any question, where do I get this information? Please tell them. Go to Yaba Voice platform. We are on Instagram. We are on Facebook. We're everywhere. Virtually everywhere on YouTube. You could have access to past webinars where you can hear it again and again. If they don't have the mechanism to watch it, then they can listen to it. And that's why we also operate on the podcast too. And so they can listen to the voices of the people who had spoken. And that would also enhance and ensure that they have the information that they need. All right, so we'll be moving forward. And then Dr. Ajiro Tutu or Motayo Francis will be telling us more again on this telemedicine, mental health, what is it, what the benefits, and what does it have even to benefit our world with. Over to you, Dr. Ajiro Tutu.
Good afternoon, everyone, and I want to thank you all for standing by us for the past 1 year. Well, we've seen the advantages social media has been able to help us in reaching out to people and making our services more better. Well, for a long period, the distance between we professionals in mental health and persons with mental health challenges have always had gaps. And what are these gaps? We've not been able to reach out properly as expected because they are limited availability of information, which has given a lot of people various impressions about mental health. And to a lot of people out there, the issues surrounding mental health challenges appear strange, spiritual, cultural, and very ambiguous. So the society has its views about mental illness. But last year, a change came in with the use of this social media, whereby we had to tap into these differences with the social media platforms had provided for us. And you could hear from Jimoke raking out all the areas we've been able to pass our messages, ranging from the Facebook, the Zoom, WhatsApp, Skype, and also the Twitter. And this opened a virtual meeting point between us. I'll be using that word us, we professionals and clients with mental health, and also patients. And this had enabled us, professionals in mental health, to be able to bridge that gap by reaching out to more people with these challenges. The social media has helped us providing the major timely information for people, like we do on Yaba Voice, draw out education and enlightenment programs for people, render intervention plans to people in distress and critical situations. Well, the era of COVID-19 gave another opening, and that was where the role of mental health workers actually came to the fore. Yeah, you know what happened last year, characterized by social isolation, lockdown, physical distancing, and by implication, there are no more physical meetings, no social gathering, no religious gathering. And of course, for we health workers generally, and narrowing down to we mental health professionals, there was no even room for major physical consultations we were doing in the past. If you could recall, in the hospital, we started working on rotations, we started working on shifts to be able to still reach out to our clients. But with the social media, it gave an opening, which we started working on. And this also enabled us to explore the media platform in reaching out to people in distress. So this progress into various forms, we started consultation via social media, treatment modalities via social media, even trainings for patients, for clients, and even health professionals, and also seminars and meetings. All this started holding virtually. So how much has this social media helped us? Taking into consideration health workers. One, it has given us the platform to create awareness, which Yaba Voice have been doing. We've been giving out information on different psychopathologies. We've been talking about causal factors from certain emotional problems. We've been talking about some symptoms for people to look out for particular certain mental challenges with the experience. We've talked about coping tips, and we've always been able to give out information and how people can get help. So those are some of the things creating awareness have been able to do for us. And also educational and enlightenment program, which we've been doing in series. You listen to what Jumoke has rolled out. And apart from our stronghold, which is the webinar, we've been able to reach out via Facebook, via Twitter, via Instagram, and other forms. And we've also been able to render some psychological first aid, because some of us who are part of Yaba Voice and also the hospital generally, we're able to make use of this via virtual during this COVID era, whereby we were working with people in isolation. We could not reach them, but we could reach them via telecounseling, via webinars, via video calls. And we're able to do all this psychological first aid. And what are we trying to do with? To promote safety for them, to stabilize them emotionally, and connect these individuals to help and resources needed. Because at times, some of their problems are social, and we're able to connect and give them this necessary needs, which were some of the problems. And even psychological intervention started taking place. We could easily do individual therapy with people. We could easily bring the family together via webinar to discuss issues, even if they are abroad, United States, London, UK, we bring them onto the fore. And or like even during physical meetings, they might not be able to reach us. So it provided that avenue for us to be able to reach. And you can't even take away assessment as well. We have electronic forms of assessment now, which we post to the individual. We get necessary feedback back, and it is analyzed and discussed. That the results are discussed via social media, via webinars, which will be set up on Zoom. So a lot has come into play. Now, what are these advantages for this client? One, we give them greater access to care. They can really reach. You know, Yaba Voice, they've been reaching us through our contacts. The hospital has been able to, through Yaba Voice, we've been able to open up to people who have wrong perception about the hospital, about psychiatry as a whole. And it is lower in cost. The cost to reach for physical consultation is more higher, but through social media, it's more cheaper. And also, high satisfaction comes into play, and more privacy. They don't need to come and line up. At times, even having sessions, people, so at any place they are, they can easily be assessed, they can reach for help, and through social media, we'll be able to achieve that. So it creates room for more privacy. Now, what advantage does this also have for we professionals? It reduces overhead. So if we're able to deal with some of these problems via social media, good for us. And we've been seeing that as well. An ability to reach out to more clients, to reach out to more patients. So if you have them in group forms, you can easily disseminate these information we have, like we do on Yaba Voice. So it's a very good advantage for us. So, and aside that, we've been able to reach in terms of psychological intervention. We work with people individually, we work with people at family level, and even marital issues. We bring them to the fore and we work with them. So this is how far we've been able to do, and we keep still moving on. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ajiro Tutu Omotayo Francis, for that detailed information about this. What are the comparative advantages of this webinar over this, at least, traditional method? And we know that, yes, as much as we want to do so much more, there are still limitations, but then we are just doing our best. I want to just take one or two messages before we go onto the last speaker, and then we'll now take comments. Yes, we will be actually opening our lines today for people to talk and make comments about what they had benefited. And yes, we will be posting immediately now a link to give feedback on what and how Yaba Voice have benefited you and what you want to see from us in the coming year. So we will send that link in onto directly now into the chat box. Please just help us fill, so we appreciate comments and feedback, and so that we know how to serve you better. It's there already. From Mr. Elu Daniel, congratulations to Yaba Voice. Thank you so much. We are happy. Veronica is a happy anniversary to every one of us. Yes, it's our own victory. Yaba, it's on top. Yes, more grounds to cover. Ms. Kemi, well done. Thank you too for being part of this call. All right, so this comment is for Mama Ogun. You are looking more youthful. Nice hearing your voice. He's actually looking more beautiful, much more beautiful. I say, I want to be like you. Mama. All right, so Abayomi Oluyemi, congratulations to Yaba Voice. Mr. Elu is saying, I think there is a need for a survey for participants to give feedback, yes, on the usefulness of Yaba Voice and how to make it better. Just thinking aloud, thanks, yes. That thought is very, very wonderful, because we had it prepared already, and so it's been sent to the chat box, and then we would appreciate your response too, to know how to serve you better. But you know, I was just thinking about it while we're preparing for this, and it said it's instructive to know that the highest outcome or turnout for the webinar was from men. And you know, one would not even just think that we would have the highest for men, but that goes to show that there are a lot of men issues that we may need to also look at as we move into the future. Olugbenga Farid is saying congratulations to Yaba Voice. Thank you. Thank you so much for being on this call with us. We appreciate your presence. And then we'll be moving forward. Dr. Luani is going to tell us significantly, have there been impacts? Have there been areas of improvement? What have we seen in the last 1 year that we had started this Yaba Voice? What are those relative things that, yes, we could relate to in terms of the impact of Yaba Voice in Yaba, the Federal Neuropsychiatric Hospital, Yaba, Lagos? Over to you, Dr. Luani.
Yeah, thank you, Mrs. Akintoye. And good afternoon, everyone out there. Thank you for joining us today. In starting, I must not fail to join others in thanking our immediate past medical director, Dr. O.C. Ogun, whose passion and vision gave birth to this initiative and kept it going for the past 1 year. We thank you, ma'am, for your initiative. We thank you for your vision. Hundreds of Nigerians have benefited from this initiative, and we know that thousands more over the coming years will benefit. We thank you. I also recognize the acting medical director, Dr. O.C. Oweye, another top management committee of Federal Neuropsychiatric Hospital Yaba, and the entire Yaba Voice team, who have been working tirelessly over the months to make this initiative a success. Thank you. We appreciate you all. I'm to talk about the impact of Yaba Voice on our practice at Federal Neuropsychiatric Hospital Yaba. Now, I must start by emphasizing that the primary goal of a mental health enlightenment program like that of Yaba Voice is to improve mental health literacy. Mental health literacy has been defined as knowledge, beliefs, and perception about mental disorders, which affect their recognition, prevention, and management. Now, when there is improved mental health literacy, there are many benefits, some of which include promotion and maintenance of positive mental health, increased understanding of mental health problems and their treatment, reduction or elimination of stigma, and enhancement of help-seeking behavior. Now, many of these benefits are being experienced already by our citizens from the various reports and feedback that we get from them. But to what extent have these benefits affected our practice at Federal Neuropsychiatric Hospital Yaba? Now, if we look at increased understanding of mental health problems and their treatment, our experience recently have been such that the category of mental disorder that we refer to as common mental disorder, or sometimes we call them minor mental disorder. These are the category of mental disorder which the presentation, they don't look like a mental disorder per se. It's so difficult for the people having them to understand that it has anything to do with mental disorder. Even sometimes, trained medical practitioners may find it difficult to recognize them. I'm talking of things like anxiety disorder, somatoform disorder, where individual has bodily complaints that may mimic medical problems. And because of this, they move from one place to another, every other place they go to, except mental health hospital. They may think they have spiritual problem, they may think they have a physical condition. So what happens is that this individual, they delay presentation, they suffer for a long time, and most of the time in the past, by the time they present, it will have become complicated. But recently we have individuals walking into our consulting room, walking into our emergency, saying that I think I have anxiety disorder. I think I have an issue that has to do with mental health problem. And they attribute this to information they got from our enlightenment program, Yaba Voice. And this has made it possible for individuals to come for care and get appropriate care. So this is one benefit that we have noticed and makes it be impacting positively on our practice. Reduction of stigma. As we all know, the most powerful weapon to fight stigma is adequate information leading to attitudinal and behavioral changes. With reduction of stigma, individuals with mental disorder are able to get the necessary help promptly. People no longer look at it as something that they should discriminate against or dissociate themselves from. So we have situation now that relatives, friends, neighbors, co-workers, members of religious organizations, they come, they bring their people who have mental disorder, bringing them for help, seeking help on their behalf. We have people calling in for help on behalf of suicidal individuals. We have several incidents, situations like this. We have people encouraging patients to take their medication, some even purchasing it for them because they've come to realize that there is solution from this hospital. That mental health problems are not mysterious. They are things that can be handled. And these, most of them attributed to information they got from our Yaba voice. Again, enhancement of help-seeking behavior. Not only do we have individuals coming for appropriate help, we now have them presenting very early. We know that for most mental disorder, early presentation can change the outcome positively. And we have situations now that people are coming early instead of going around, instead of waiting for complication to set in before they come in. And this, a lot of them attribute to right they got. We have individual, most of our patients sticking with their treatment instead of defaulting and also taking responsibility for their care, all attributed to adequate and proper information they got from this program. In terms of the effects on the positive mental health of the population, where this may require a systematic study to be able to say definitively what the effect has been. And we are talking of a year period, which is relatively short. We are also in the period of pandemic. So some of this may complicate the effect, but we can theorize and infer from the fact that we are in a pandemic period and we have not been overwhelmed by cases in Yaba. It shows that our effort in terms of educating the populace is having positive effect. So that is our theory. But looking forward, in the coming year, definitely we are going to have more systematic study to look at the effect of what we are doing on the population mental health. And also our focus in the coming year will be focusing more on policy issue in the coming month. We'll be targeting policy and decision makers because this can make a lot of difference. For example, issue of legislation, better facility, and more resources for mental health issues and drug abuse, which has become an epidemic in our country. This we are going to look at more in the coming months. The management of Federal Nusakari Kosutu Yaba and the Yaba Voice team are resolute in their determination, not only to keep the medium going, but also to keep improving on it for the benefit of thousands of Nigerians. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you so much. I love the fact that Dr. Luani is steering rounded up with a great resolution and is saying, you be expectant, something good, something better, something more unique is going to come from the covers of Yaba Voice, even onto the populace now. We are more determined and more committed to the fact that we would have a lot to do so much. Yes, from Y Media Party 3, congratulations to Yaba Voice. Yes, thank you, Pilot Bolaho. Congratulations to the Yaba Voice team. Thank you so much. And you know that word team is not just, it doesn't just stand alone. You will just hear the team. And you know, it makes us go ganga, and then we will just do what we are expected to do. Because when Mama comes to the platform and say, good morning, the team, you know, everybody's just hyped to just keep doing their best. So thank you so much for those congratulatory messages. I'm going to take one or two comments. Please, Mr. Kaudeladeji, please can you just unmute Reverend Daramola is on this call. Possibly Dr. Adegbaju, and then maybe one or two other people who may want to just lend a voice to what is it that we're doing today, telling us about, yes, what you benefited, and maybe just a goodwill message from us and your expectation. Yes, yes, Daramola is there. Oh boy, sorry. Just give me a minute. I'm trying to look at Dr. Adegbaju. Have you seen Dr. Adegbaju? Those are some of, at least we know regular. Okay, maybe it's off. Okay,
My name.
Dr. Nigbaju. Okay, can we just hear your voice on this call today?
Daramola.
All right, Daramola Bayomi, please go on. Could you just lend your voice to what we're doing here today?
You.
Yes.
Yeah, I am happy to be part of the people that have been following your development. It's a good initiative for the fact that that is also part of my research to see how we can use automated system and online for psychological services. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
All right, thank you so much for that comment. Do we have any other person who wants to just speak one or two things? Just indicate by raising up your hand, and then we'll go to get you with your motive before we round up. We are finally just getting to the end of this special anniversary webinar. Yeah. Yes, please unmute them. Unmute as they raise up your hand. We just take a few comments. We don't have time, but we'll take it. Yes, please unmute them. Can we unmute? All right, please, if they are sending the link to unmute, so you just click on the unmute and then you would come up automatically. All right, if we can't hear anyone,
Dr. Adebite, you are on.
Who else did you unmute? Dr. Adebite, they've sent the unmute link to you. Just click on it. And please, while we're doing this, don't forget to fill out a questionnaire that has been sent. I want a feedback from you on how well we think you have done and what else you think we can do better. Abayomi, Oluyemi, you want to say anything to us today? If you want to, please just kindly indicate. Today is a day where we'll open the line for people to be able to talk and give response to all that we have been doing so far.
Hello?
Hello, yes.
Okay, thank you once again for this opportunity given to me. Good day, the acting medical director, the past medical director. I just want to say a big thank you to the Yaba Voice. They have given me an opportunity to express myself, and I have really learned so much from Yaba Voice. And I just want to say a big congratulations to the Yaba Voice team. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Oluyemi Abayomi, for that. Thank you so much. We appreciate that feedback. Mrs. Peters, Lawumi Peters, please, you've been unmuted. Can you just, can we hear your voice, ma'am? Ma'am, please unmute yourself. The icon has been sent to you. Just unmute yourself. Okay, it's like people have difficulties unmuting themselves. But I want to thank Ms. Oye, just sent in the message now. Thank you so much for that congratulatory message to Yaba Voice. I want to thank everyone who had been on this call with us. There are people who had not missed a single webinar. They had been there 16 webinars in the whole, and yet they have been there day in and out, rooting for us and being our support. We want to appreciate you so much. And we'll say that we will do so much in the coming years to do so much better, and to also give out so much information that, yes, for anyone willing to partner, yes, send out more on a larger platform, yes, why? We would be there and ready to give our own support and own voice to that which we are doing. I want to call on the medical director to also put a voice to what we'll be doing, yes, in the next 1 year. Dr. Weye, please, what are we doing in the next 1 year? Yes, Mr. King Gabriel, thank you so much. Congratulations to the team. Yes, thank you for that. Dr. Weye, are you here, sir? Dr. Weye, please unmute yourself, sir. Sir, we can't hear you. You need to unmute yourself.
Okay.
All right, yes. All right, thank you,
Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to come up again. I just want to seize this opportunity to thank the member of the team for being part of this great team, for all their efforts in making this program a steady one. And then also to thank our former medical director, Dr. Cecilia Oluwayemi, for leaving this legacy behind, apart from the legacy of peace that you left behind for us. We just want to thank you for leaving this legacy behind for you. And we are ready to take this legacy to the next level. And then to all our participants, we are still moving forward. We have several interesting topics ahead that we are going to bring up that will be of benefit to the populace. And we at Yaba Voice, we are poised to take mental health to the next level. And we want you to continue to support us. We want you to continue to like us. We want to continue to love us as we trend on the social media. Once again, I just want to thank you all for coming today. Thank you and God bless you.
All right, thank you so much. The medical director has said that we are poised to take this to a greater height. Like us, follow us, share our articles. That's what would actually show that we're doing so much out there. A lot of people may not see us directly, but they can see your page. And when they see your page, then they would know that we are doing so much. So please like our pages, share our content, just make comments. That will also help us to know that you're seeing what we're doing and will also encourage us. From Mrs. Oye, congratulations to the Yaba Voice team. It's been great for this past 1 year of coming more and more to the people to be more informed mentally and physically. God bless you. Amen to that. From Mr. Akin Gabriel, congratulations to the team. We also have a similar platform with patient consultation in line with the current dispensation. Congratulations once again. The medical director have heard this, and I'm sure is going to look into it to see what could be done in terms of patient consultation. Yes, Chinyere to everyone, congratulations to the team. More grace to you. Thank you so much for that. We want to appreciate everyone who had been on this call with us once again today. Thanks for this. Like I say, please be our shoulders, be that height that we can lean on, be everything that would help us to be able to do much more out there. We'll appreciate the feedback. So please help us fill the Google form. That would help us to be able to understand what is it that we need to do more. And then we'll be able to create more social media content. Help us share our pages, share whatever it is that we share on the social media pages that will allow more people to see and understand. And we hope in the coming years that even we'll be able to go to the grassroots. I tell people, if you cannot watch us directly here, the YouTube is there. That's where we send the recorded message to. So you could go back and have a review. You could refer people to have a review of what is it that we're doing. The podcast is also there too. And that people could listen to it without necessarily having to be online or on the social, on the YouTube pages and every other thing. So at least we try to make room for that. And we hope that in the coming years too, we will be able to do much more in terms of disseminating information on the television, on the radio, and so many other platforms that we could get. And on this note, I want to say thank you to the team. Thank you to Mama, the past medical director, Cecilia Oluwayemi Ogun. Thank you for this innovation. Thank you for this platform. Thank you for this honor. And thank you for showcasing Yaba on this high pedestrian once again. Thanks to the medical director. Thanks for everybody who had been on this call with us. The member of Yaba Voice team is saying thank you so much for being part of this 1 year celebration with us. We appreciate you. Please stay safe. The Delta variant is out there and we want to hope that everyone will just keep safe, irrespective of what is happening. Please stay safe, keep yourself, and please enjoy a mental health that is sound. You know there is no health without mental health. Bye-bye. Until we come your way on next time, we'll be looking at grief. Is there a normal grief? Is there an abnormal grief? Please stay tuned and watch out for that. We will have experts in the house who will be talking to us about that. Until then, please take care of yourself. Bye-bye.